good evening, and welcome to this edition of the English Premier League and Bermudians Overseas live football show here on IslandStats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me are co-hosts Anton Augustus and Jason Juglin J. Ford. Good evening, gentlemen. It's been a weekend over in the UK, but I'm gonna sidetrack just a little bit because obviously today Bermuda's under-17 women's national team began the CONCACAF qualifiers against Cayman Islands in Puerto Rico and came away with a 2-0 victory, a goal in each half from Ms. Otterbridge. So with Puerto Rico winning earlier in the day at around 10:30 this morning, 3-0 over St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Bermuda now winning 2-0. We both have 3 points, but Bermuda is behind by 1 goal in the goal difference column. Next games are set for Wednesday, where Bermuda will take on St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's after Puerto Rico take on Cayman Islands in the morning. So we're hoping, we got our fingers crossed that the head coach, Gary Adams, will be able to join us later on in this show. But I just wanted to diverse and get that out there that, Bermuda have won their opening game. The under-17 women have won their opening game of the CONCACAF tournament in Puerto Rico. Any thoughts? Anyone want to share thoughts on it?
Well, first of all, congratulations. Yeah.
Yes, congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, what's the format as far as advancing? Is it the top 2, or is the winner out of this group?
Winner of the group automatically goes through, and then the best 2 second-place teams.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So out of all the groups, you gotta have the best record or the second best record. So, if we turn around and if we win the group, then we're automatically through. If we finish second in the group, what we want to do is make sure we're got enough points. Well, a victory on Wednesday and then even a point on Friday would hopefully get us through. So,
and then even goal average too,
and goal average as well. So it's about scoring goals. It's definitely about scoring goals again on Wednesday, and then it's about shutting out the host on Friday. So. Yeah. So
gotta close out with the host.
2-0 to Bermuda, 3-0 to Puerto Rico over St. Vincent. So now let's turn our attention to the English Premier Division that took place over the weekend.
Yes.
The scores: it was Crystal Palace 1, Brentford 2, Tottenham Hotspurs 1, Leicester City 2, Aston Villa 1. West Ham United 1, Fulham 0, Manchester United 1, AFC Bournemouth 5, Nottingham Forest 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0, Everton 1, Liverpool 4, Ipswich Town 1, Southampton 1, Newcastle United 3, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Arsenal 1, Manchester City 3, Chelsea 1. Well, I mean, everybody and their grandmother have been talking about the Wolverhampton Wanderers Arsenal game, and obviously the red card issued to the Arsenal player in the match, and all the people that sit on the couch with a remote in their hand with a bird's eye view of a camera from way above, criticized the referee, who was literally less than 10 feet away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he saw what he saw from the angle in which he saw it. What's your thoughts, Jay?
Well, let's go to the referee first. Let's go to the former referee first.
Honestly, I have not, because I have not seen it. I did not see it.
I'm sorry, you must be the only person. I think even Donald Trump's seen it, man.
I the game ended up with 10 versus 10, and that's how Arsenal scored. Um, but I have not even seen it. I am so sorry.
But you know
Didn't
what?
do my homework.
But you're gonna see it from an angle in which everybody who's criticized it will see it. And
So
not
So
one
run me
time did
down,
the
run me down,
what's
run it
that?
down for me, run it down for
So
me.
Bull came in. It was a corner. Ball was cleared out. The defending team won the ball and now had an attack going, but he was still like 3/4 in his half of the field. Um, and the Arsenal player lunged at him to try and win the ball, missed the ball, but draped his studs down his leg, um, and committed a foul. And
Mhm.
I guess if the and like I said, the referee was less than 10 feet away. So in what he saw, which basically, you know, you by the ladder of the law, he showed the red card because the what the infringement was the fact that the player raked his leg, his foot, his studs down the player's leg, whether or not it was full contact or whatever. But the referee standing right there, and what I find funny, Jay, is that not one time have they shown the level in which the referee was standing angle shot of that other than the still picture.
So okay, what sounds like? Yes, it sounds like a rare card because if his foot is above the ball,
Yeah,
is automatically a card. His foot is up. If his foot's above the ball, and I mean a vicinity of the ball. The ball is on the ground, and his foot's above the ball,
right.
and his basically it sounds like he like you said he launched
Yeah, yeah.
his
Is that
feet
pretty
are
much
above the
correct,
ball, so
brother?
his intent.
Did I describe it pretty much the way it happened?
yeah, I mean it's sort of hard. One of those plays because in real time, you could definitely call it a rare card, right?
Right.
Was it
Really,
basketball?
a rare lot of the confusion came in. Once again, it was with the VAR that once they slowed it down, it was deemed that it was could have just been a yellow card, right? And this is where I get back with the whole situation with VAR because it wasn't enough to overturn it because it was a bare call per se.
Right.
They didn't suggest to him that he had to reverse his call.
Right.
Um, for me, and I'm gonna say it again, if we have the technology to get it right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
VAR.
what comes into play is that fine line of when do we tell the referee go there, when do we don't, because it's all in the writing, ain't it?
Right, right.
Yeah,
So
And that's the problem.
and now, like you said, but Earl, it's hard because the referee is looking at it from one angle, and
Uh-huh.
VAR could look at it from three or four angles, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's it's based off of, it's always based off of the initial call,
Right. Yep.
what the VR can actually do.
Right.
But you're only basing that initial call off of one angle. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it,
I
it's some
agree. I
flaw.
agree.
It's some flaws that is gonna. I believe that's gonna have to be looked at in the end of the season because is you have the technology. You
Yeah.
have the technology.
They're gonna use a pencil for the wording because if you sit there and go by the letter of the law according to what the rules are, whether or not I could tell the referee go to the corner on a certain call or not, that's where the person in the chair with the VAR is sitting there and he's got two. And remember, the VAR usually has three people,
Yeah, two assistants. Yeah,
right?
yep,
So
yep.
they're there. One person's the rule person. And that person decides whether or not to tell the person that's in charge to tell the referee he needs to go and review it. Now, if
Mhm.
that person's looking at the book and the book says ABC, that person says, "Hey, look, I'm juggler. Yeah, you can't tell the referee go because the book says this." But the following the ladder of the, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It's I mean, it's like I said, these things are going to be looked at, and I say this here, especially when you're looking at a title race that realistically, if Arsenal or one of the Arsenal between Arsenal, Chelsea, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Man City, if they drop another, for the sake of argument, they drop another 4 to 5 points, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially
It's
because
over.
the game in hand. Now it's funny because Everton's got some life in them now in that game in hand against Liverpool. I think those guys are waiting a couple more weeks, see if Everton can really, really bounce back and then take on, because obviously it's a derby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Arsenal, Manchester City, Chelsea, they're sitting back saying, you know what, let's just stay within our reach and hope that Liverpool do slip up. Maybe that Everton game is the slip up that they need, and they're right back in it. But it remains to be seen. It's funny. Yeah.
And I believe with Liverpool playing early, I think also put pressure on the teams playing later too.
That's right. Yes. And we saw that at the beginning of this year, not the season, but the beginning of this year, 2025, when Liverpool were playing the later games and those teams had already closed the gap on them. They struggled in the first 2 games of the season. First 2 games of the year. Because you can't tell me it's human nature. I don't care if you're professional or not. It plays on you because you're still looking around saying, okay, what's that score over there? You might be warming up. People are shouting out these scores. Oh, Arsenal won, or Chelsea won, or Manchester City won, and you do start saying, okay, well, we can't make a mistake. We can't. Now you're going from let's just take care of business to we can't make a mistake. We can't make a mistake. So a lot of things change in that whole scenario, especially when you're playing later.
Yeah. Has the clock struck 12 on Nottingham Forest?
What's that?
Has the clock struck 12 on Nottingham Forest?
No, they all went out for the coach's birthday the night before, man. They celebrated the coach's birthday. You saw he actually, when he came on the dugout, he said me wrong wrong dugout. Birthday blues, man.
He didn't want to be there.
But I mean, if you look at it, I mean, Bournemouth really, really put the hard on them early and kept going, and it was like, wow. Every time they scored and they would switch to it, and I was like, another one? Man, oh man, oh man. So, let me ask you, Jay. What's his name? Liverpool coach Arne Slot. They just scored 11 goals in 2 games at home, and you're playing them at home on Saturday. What's this week like for you?
Everybody's licking chops right now, man. Everybody's standing in line. Who's next? Who's next to play?
Yeah, I got Liverpool on Saturday.
Well, but you know what? I mean, football is just one of those things. When you have a season like this, when it's 38 games, you're gonna have ebbs and flows, right? So,
yeah.
Up until this period, they hadn't had dropped. They had a great run.
Yeah.
So it had to come back to mean. They had to come back down to earth. But I don't know that. Remember, they play a more direct style of ball. So interesting enough, and as work for them. Interesting enough, you're talking about direct ball. Surprising to see Man City win like that.
I think when they went down early in the game, Antoine, did you see any part of the United? I mean, the City Chelsea game?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I saw that.
So I think Manchester City changed all their program when they went down 1-0, and they realized the new youngster was struggling.
Well, That
Which
new
one?
youngster was struggling. The other one was flying.
Oh yeah. But they had to find them a way to get the ball because the problem was when they were trying to pass the ball out of the back, they were not getting the ball to him in a timely manner where he could. I mean, if you look at it, when they changed that style, he
Yeah,
was getting the ball and running at guys.
yeah,
Where before that he was struggling because he had to come back looking for the ball. And I don't know if you guys saw the show before that game where Paul Mercer was talking about now City have to figure out what they're gonna do with him, the Egyptian,
Yeah.
because Haaland is so direct. They have to get the ball to Haaland. This guy loves to dribble the ball and then do whatever he does. But now they have to figure out how these two is going to match. Now, if they could figure it out, oh, look out, because now you could almost double the goal take for Manchester City.
It sounds like all he has to do is just basically, I don't know what, play him as a false nine or put him right behind Holland and let the ball come to him and then pass it to Holland. Like that's.
I mean that if you look at it, Jay, he kind of fell into that position on yesterday, right?
yeah. Yeah, it's something that I just laugh to the fact that over the years between Pep and especially Klopp, they complain about a lot of teams that play very direct against them, right?
Yeah,
That style, that's for them. It's not what we call
yes,
right what football's supposed to be,
yeah.
right? But I mean, when you have players, you got to play to their strengths.
Yeah.
And when you have a forward like Haaland who can't hold the ball up, who's big and can hold the ball up, and you got somebody like this youngster coming in who could run in behind. Oh mercy! This is if you don't take advantage of this,
it's almost
and you
like
want to stick with Grealish and these guys, some it's this and you just signed a new contract too. As a coach, you gotta take advantage of this.
Man, that's how everybody's been beating City. Like you don't let Holland get the ball. Take him out of the game. I remember last year when he first came at Manchester United, Ten Hag literally took him right out of the game. Took him out. Like if the ball tried to get to the midfield, it got to the midfield. But who else? Who was you passing it to? Because it was nobody. Like once you try to get it to Holland, Maguire or what's his name would just snatch it straight away from him, or cousin will just snatch it straight from him. So it was that's how I think that was the blueprint of trying to beat City, which is not let Holland collect that ball. Because like you said, once he gets the ball up top, he's a strong man. He can hold the ball up top.
Right.
So
yeah. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation with the English Premier Division, and then we'll get on to the Bermuda players overseas. We'll be right back.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this? Kick off the new year with the hydration you need to keep moving.
Recover 180 is organic hydration designed for today's athlete, packed with electrolytes and essential nutrients to fuel your active lifestyle. Whether you're hitting the gym, the field, or just staying refreshed, Recover 180 is your go-to recovery drink. Start your year strong with Recover 180. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, called the Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day, for over 135 years. It's been clear, Lady Silence, probably Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, let's turn our attention to that top of the table clash. Well, not top of the table clash, but two teams that are trying to chase down Liverpool in that Manchester City. We talked about Manchester City and a little bit about Chelsea, but looking at a team like Chelsea, Juggler, they up to 6, but they've out of the last 5 games, they've got 2 losses, 1 win, and 2 draws. They came out of a funk during that Christmas break, but then it seems like they've fallen right back into you're not sure which Chelsea team's going to show up on any day.
Well, it's 2 players that is play a very integral role with Chelsea. Cole Palmer and the goalkeeper. When Cole Palmer goes MIA, 9 times out of 10 Chelsea doesn't get points. And when the goalkeeper plays the way he played the other day, 9 times out of 10 Chelsea's not going to get no points. And they know they need a goalkeeper, and I know they're in the market trying to get a goalkeeper, but man, he's not having a good season at all.
No.
They can have Onana.
But see, that's the thing, right? A lot of it's been put on. Goalkeepers playing out of the back, but shot stopping and game management, and especially, I believe the second goal, man, it was really interesting because with Chelsea trying to play that high line, right, and we know Onana was having troubles early in the year when a team, especially when your team's trying to play a high line, the goalkeeper has to come to the top of the box.
Right.
Because once the ball goes over the top of and tries to beat that line, they have to be that next line of defense. And he got stuck in no man's land.
Yeah.
No man's land.
So either to keep coming or go back, and eventually just got stuck there.
He was stuck. It was no man's land. He was so, and like somebody like Haaland, or like I said, and that little youngsters who could break the lines that fast.
Yeah.
But once again, that should have been, I don't know, coaching. I mean, somebody had to say something to him. I don't know. I've seen him make too many of those mistakes. Too many.
Yeah.
He's a young keeper. He's still trying to find his way. He's still trying to find his way,
Well, let's put it like that. He found a way in front of all those people on Saturday. I mean, yes. And the place to be.
Yeah.
And I say that because that drops the confidence in the back line.
That's right. Yeah. You turn around, you don't have confidence to pass the ball back to him. You don't have confidence when a cross is coming. When he hollers keeper, you still go for it because you ain't sure if he's going to get it. All
Yeah,
that stuff
sure.
in your head.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cole Palmer, what's going on with Cole Palmer, though, man? It's like one
Teams
day
have
is
figured-
on, and the next 3
teams
days
have
is
figured him
off.
out. Teams have figured him out.
Yeah.
Teams have literally figured him out. Remember, he burst onto the scene. He was scoring goals from every angle, cutting the end from the right side with his left foot, and doing something. Teams have figured him out.
Well, Sanchez, Jaden Sanchez, put him where. Let him do what he's got to do.
Yeah, sometimes some guys just need that little break just to reignite the batteries and so forth. But yeah, I mean, what they decide to do, because again, we keep saying it, man. It's a lot of football right now.
Well, that's the thing about it. City has a depth. City has a depth. Like they have at least in their first team over 30 players. So
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah,
that training session, they can have.
No, we talk about having 30 players, but do you have 30 players? Do you have 11? Do you have 22 players that could replace? Can you have another 11 that can replace the 11 that starts? It's like for like. That's the problem you have, especially if you built the team around a star-started person. When that person goes out, look at how long it has taken Arsenal to adjust with their best player on the sideline. Now they got two best players on the sideline. Where do they find? I mean, Wolves have been leaking goals all season, but they got one.
I mean, Chelsea has a lot of young players who are signed to long contracts. I know that.
Right.
So
Right.
that
business move is backfired because
Yeah,
they
well, I
signed
mean-
him to long-term contracts and give him a whole pile of money.
yeah, young people. Anytime you got a young player, it's just it's consistency, and that's something that they're good on the day, but how consistent are they?
Yeah. They can get up for one game. They can get up for one game, but then they struggle against somebody else.
Earl, do you think Tottenham's coach is going to last a year?
Yes.
Are they going to survive the relegation?
Yes. To be honest, I mean, I think the fans were booing the executive director as well as the coach on Saturday.
Yeah, I think they're booing everybody, man. They were.
Yeah. And realistically, because he hasn't gone into the market in January with all these injuries, players will be coming back, but then the team needs help right now. They desperately need help. They need recognized players on the field. You just lost a guy who's been scoring goals on a regular basis the last month. You lost him for 6 weeks now. So you have to be in that shop window looking for somebody who can come in and reignite this team and get them help for this short period of time or until the end of the season. Something has to give. You can't keep pointing your finger.
Aaron, I mean, you make it sound like it's so simple, but you're talking about a team who does not like to spend.
I know, but that's what is frustrating that's what's frustrating the fans right now, and that's why the vats at the office now, and some of the attention will get off the coach. That's why I said the coach will survive, because realistically, right? I don't care what manager's out there. He's going to look at that Tottenham job right now and say, "How no."
You're right.
And that's probably why they haven't fired him, because nobody's interested in taking over because of all the problems they have.
Yep. Just look at Jose. Jose left them at the eve of a cup finals.
Yeah.
So, honestly, Tottenham they have a lot of work to do. Like you said, they have a lot of work. They have to do some stuff.
Most of their work is on the table right now. or in the ice bath, so, and there's no break for them. That they're going to come up against more opposition because they're still in Europe. So the more games to be played, more injuries are on the side waiting to happen, and it's tough for them to whoa. And then you lose, but the problem is you lost at home to Leicester. Leicester ain't won a game in 9 games.
I just gonna say, who's not been on a good streak at all.
Yeah. You gave Manchester United's former coach his first win in the league because he won his first game. It was a cup game, but you start looking at that type of stuff. But I think Tottenham's safe. They're 24 points. They got a few wins left in them in the season. 15th place. I there's no need to panic as of yet.
Well, I don't think they'll go down, but I don't know how long. Like I said, the coaching situation, that's going to be detrimental because if they do not spend in this transfer window, what are you expecting?
Well, if they don't spend, then the board can't really turn around and fire the coach, because they haven't given him any support.
Tottenham and Manchester United are in the same boat. Yeah, like you have to. The ownership, both ownerships are not spending money. The teams are crushed.
You have been here before?
And the coaches wouldn't get fired.
You can't.
Well, at least I can say they got a better stadium than Manchester United. It ain't Lincoln.
You're right about that.
I believe someone is asking about the Devonshire Cougars Dundee Town match. That match is for tomorrow night and not for tonight. So,
yeah,
that match is scheduled for Tuesday night. Tonight is Monday. So, no score right now. So let's take our second commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation and we'll move to the Bermuda players overseas, and we'll talk a bit about Sean Goda's last game in charge as Aston Villa's interim women's head coach. We'll be right back.
Over the pink sands, beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, the silence for Lee Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
They're just putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
This year, Lindo's is making it easier than ever to shop your weight with our brand new Drop It website coming to you on January 6th. fresh groceries, convenient delivery, and now an upgraded online shopping experience. Whether you're planning meals or restocking your pantry, enjoy fast, reliable service wherever you are on the island. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. Well, we know that Sean Goda's reign as the interim head coach for Aston Villa's women's team came to an end on Saturday against his former club, not only as a player but as an assistant coach, Manchester City. Sean had these words prior to the start of the match, talking about the upcoming match with Manchester City.
Your focus, but if we can just dwell on you for a second. It's your final game in charge of this team against a club where you're held in such high regard, where you made so many happy memories. An emotional day for you personally?
Well, an exciting day. One that I will enjoy. I'll enjoy more, certainly if we go in and execute the plan really well. But yeah, it's one that I'm looking forward to. City's a club that I play for. I love the club. I enjoy playing there. But I'm at Villa, and I will enjoy a really good performance today.
So you've obviously seen their camp from the inside, being Gareth Taylor's assistant last season. Does that knowledge help you beat them?
Well, I'm hoping it does. But listen, City have quality players. They have a quality manager. They're adaptable. They have a way of playing. But at the same time, it's their quality and their decision making. But we also have quality, and we have to make sure that we make it very difficult for them today.
Yeah, when you talk about executing the plan, how do you go about it? I mean, I know you've got to stand there and tell me everything, but what is the plan?
Well, the plan, essentially, because they're a good team, there are certain times that we really need to get after them, and there are times in which we have to contain and be a little bit more reserved. And respect the opposition. So you'll see both parts of that throughout the game.
Just tell us about those changes you made. I think 4 in total. Both fullbacks. Gabby Nunes drops out. So does Ebony Salmon.
Yeah, well, that's partly to do with how we see a part of the game going. We've got a fullback that's a more natural fullback, and I say natural as in a left-footed fullback and not a right-footed left back.
Yeah.
So in part of our game and part of our play, we think that's essential to how we're looking to play and build and play.
And lastly, we obviously know that a new manager starts work next week in Natalia Arroyo. Has she been able to have an input, speak to you about what she wants and expects today?
Well, we've had conversations. Essentially, she's basically said, yeah, go on and do what I plan to do. She does know the game plan. She understands it, and she does agree with the actual plan. But yeah, today it's been led by myself, with me knowing and understanding City, and we're going to give it a good go.
Yeah. The day started well for Aston Villa. They went up 1-0, but then Manchester City showed their superiority and came away with a 4-2 victory to try and close the gap on Chelsea at the top of the table. But 5 games, he won 4 of them. What does this do for his confidence as a coach, and probably what he seeks next, Juggler?
Well, I said it before. I mean, very similar to when I was telling you when with Nakin away, right? He put himself in the shop window, right?
Mm-hmm.
And especially with somebody, that's all you want. When you're starting off your early years of playing or early years of coaching, or assistant coaching, you want that chance. You want that chance, and he was given the chance.
Mm.
No, obviously up to him to go back and see the things that it was working for him or what hasn't worked and the relationships or whatever,
right?
And learn more. But good thing is, has been put in the shop window, and I say that because you look at Ruud van Nistelrooy,
yeah,
very similar, right? He had a chance to get in the shop window for a couple of games,
mm-hmm.
But no sooner after that, he was able to get picked up
Right.
by Leicester.
Yeah. And Antoine, you've seen the women's game grow in Bermuda, but it's really leaps and bounds in the UK, where the leagues now are playing inside the stadiums that have the men's game, and they're starting to really flush them out.
Yeah, exactly. I remember one thing that was one thing that I think the women's were always fighting to play at the Etihad Stadium and all the top stadiums, and now that those showing that they can do it. And you said City's second place.
I believe they are in second place in the women's division.
Yeah, last time I remember, City wasn't that good. Now look at them now, and Aston Villa was always that team that Aston Villa, Manchester United, and Chelsea. It's been always that top three in the English Women's League. So I congratulate to Sean on what he did. Like Juggling said, he put himself out. He's put himself out there, and I wouldn't be surprised before the end of the year or beginning of next season that he gets another job. I hope it's. That's the question. Another thing: does he want to stay at the men, or does he want to stay at the females, or does he want to go for men's? Take up a men's team, because I feel that he can after what he's showing. I think he can take a men's team. He can take a championship team. He can take a side one, especially a side one or championship team. Look at what's his name? Wayne Rooney just got fired from.
I was just gonna say, don't say it. That might not be a good example because it has some chances.
Yeah, no, I'm saying. Well, I know Wayne Rooney has a chance, but I'm saying the team that he just got fired from may be looking for a coach, and Sean Gordon might be that coach. That's what I'm saying.
Is he with Plymouth though?
Think about it.
What's that?
Is he with Plymouth now though?
No, he got fired from Plymouth.
He didn't get fired. He left.
Yeah,
because he left.
But I think he's. Last time I heard, I don't know if it's how true it is. Probably rumors that he is working on the pack at City. But yeah, I think honestly, I think Sean can get a coaching job.
Yeah.
I think Sean can get a coaching job. I really do.
Yeah. I hope he does.
Just to correct myself, Manchester City are in third place. Manchester United are in second place. Chelsea gonna lead the league with 34 points. Manchester United have 27, and Manchester City have 25. Aston Villa are in ninth place with 10 points. So some work to do for them. But yeah, I mean, once you put yourself out there like Sean has, showing he can handle that type of pressure. If you look at it, when he took over Aston Villa, they were in a slump. But in four, like I said, 5 games in charge, 4 wins, with the defeat to Manchester City to end his reign. People will look at that favorably, and obviously, if the talk is how did he manage himself and his team, it has to look good on his resume.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It looks good. The pressure. I don't know, but also they can look at the fact that the pressure of the City game. Yes, he was under pressure that he knew that this was his last game. Like, how can you work under pressure knowing that this is your last game and somebody else is coming to replace you? Like, that could be a plus. It could be a negative.
Yeah, true. True. Well, let's take a quick peek of what took place for Bermuda players over the weekend. And we all know Naki Wells scored the winner for Bristol City. in the second half against Blackburn Rovers on Saturday. We had Razir Smith-Jones, Reece Jones, Courage Fubler, and Malachi Henry all play for Binfield. They went down 4-1. Razir scoring a consolation penalty for Binfield. Reggie Lamb scored an stoppage time winner for Needham Market against Alfreton Town. Lamb started the game on the bench, came off the bench. They were down 2-0 when him and two others came off the bench. They pulled it back to 2-0. Lamb picked up the ball midway in the half of the opponents and just loved the keeper with a perfect chip that went in with no time left on the clock. So, congratulations to him and his team for that remarkable comeback and a victory. And what a stunning goal it was. Did you see the goal, Juggler? Have you seen
I was about to ask you, did they have it on their social media?
They put it up late today. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go check it out.
That's how I was able to describe it. It was a very, very good goal. And what it comes from the fact that he used to be a striker, so his first touch was to look and see where the goalkeeper was, and then realizing the goalkeeper's on the penalty spot, decided to have a go. So, yeah, we had Keizai Martin and his Russell Olympic teammates. They had a 2-1 win over Leamington FC. Harry Twite, they came away in Loughborough. They came away with a 3-0 victory. Twite went off and the score was 0-0. I'm not sure if he was injured or not, but he started the match and they ended up winning 3-0. And Dale Eve was back in action finally.
Hey.
With Bermuda games on the horizon, Dale Eve was back in goal for Avo Church. They defeated Telford United 3-1. Willie Clemens and Felix Tau Walton, they had a scoreless draw with Haringey and co-host Chorley. They played out a scoreless draw with Southport. Justin Donovan came off the bench to help his team, Brackley Town, defeat Spennymoor Town 4-1. And Mazai Simmons and his Huckle Town teammates, they picked up their fourth consecutive victory, a 1-0 win over Ashby. And it was a defeat for Kane Critchlow and Chelmsford. They went down 2-1 against East Brown. The other side, we had, as we know, Mia Fischel, who is the niece of David Andrew and Herbie Bascom. She's still recovering from her ACL injury. She should be back hopefully in the next 2 months, back in the lineup for Chelsea. They picked up a 1-0 win over Arsenal yesterday. Kenny Thompson and her AFC Bournemouth women's teammates, they reached the final of the FA Women's National League plate final with a 3-2 victory over Manchester United's academy team. Jasmine Spence and her Newport Pagnell Town women's teammates, they enjoyed a 6-1 victory over Bugbroke. Sheila Birch Waldron and Sutton United, they picked up a 1-0 win over Dulwich Hamlet. Aaliyah Nerlin scored once, helping Bradford City women's team return to winning ways with a 5-1 win over Sunderland West End ladies. And Eva Franzoni and her AFC Sudbury women's teammates on the wrong end of a 4-0 scoreline against Real Bedford. Leilani Nisbet's season schedule has been released. The Chicago Stars will kick off their season March 14th at Orlando. And of course, one of the biggest stories again this weekend was Bristol City manager Liam Manning has revealed that contract talks with match winner Nakeem Wells are imminent after the 2-1 victory over Blackburn Rovers at Ashton Gate on Saturday. Manning has said that he will sit down with the 34-year-old Wells to discuss a new deal to keep him at City beyond the summer. His contract runs out. So, big things on the horizon for Naki. We everybody's always wondering when and if what's going to happen with him. So they're about to open up talks with him.
Good.
Great news. I mean, the last interview I saw, and the question was put out there to him due to his age, and he was basically saying that he felt good. Normally, obviously, this time of year, still good. Most players are going to have a nick here and a nick there, but for the most part, it felt good. Like I told you before, a few weeks ago, it's just to come down to negotiation, really, because there is he is 34. You can't get around that. He is 34.
Yeah.
But with him scoring, most teams want a poacher, somebody who can score. Not even just a poacher, because he's more than just a poacher. Right. So, but then again, that's for negotiation. How long the contract and how much money. And that's the business part that his agent, I don't know how much say you have in that, but that's his agent's got some work to do.
Mm-hmm. He's in the position of Mo Salah, I guess, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't think Naki would turn down going to Saudi right now.
No.
I don't think he'll do. I don't think he'll turn that down. Okay.
I don't think there's too many that would turn down a deal going to Saudi right now. I'm paying steak dinners per minute over there.
Man.
Yeah.
No, so consider the MLS, bro. Consider the MLS.
Well, the perks that these guys are getting in Saudi, along with the contracts, is unbelievable. So,
no, yeah, and like I said, he came off the bench this weekend, right? So he can still, the king can still get a 1-2 year contract and try to go on and end his career, and try to get up in the Premiership, for one more try, 2 more tries at least to get up in the Premiership and take a team up there, at least. He can do it. He really can do it. Like I said, all he had to do is just come play for Bermuda for international breaks and keep him fit. Give him 1 or 2 games, give him a half, keep him well organized and ready for Bristol City.
How far is Bristol City away from the playoff spot?
Bristol City I believe they are in 6th place. Hold on. I'll tell you.
6th place? That's not that far away, man.
They're not far away.
I know they've been up and down. They got a result. They got a result today, and then next week they'll get a draw, and then the following week they got a real. Yeah. So that's up and down.
8th place with 41 points. The problem is the playoff spot is between 3 and 6, and the 5th and 6th place team have 44 points. So they're only 3 points out of that playoff spot.
See? 2 victories, 3 victories.
Well, you beat the teams in front of you. You beat the teams in front of you, and also beat the teams behind you.
Isn't Blackburn ahead of them?
Blackburn, yes, they were 4 points ahead of them going into the game.
See, that's one team.
Yeah. So Blackburn in 7th with 42, Bristol at 8th with 41, with Watford on 41 as well. Middlesbrough and West Brom on 44.
Who they play this week?
Yeah.
Boy, let me see. I believe they have a midweek game. Hold on.
It's question. Is CJ the starting goalkeeper or CJ backup goalkeeper?
Sorry?
CJ, is he a starting is he the starting goalkeeper?
Yeah, he's starting for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's starting. One sec, Jay. Finding your where's it to? Oh, here we go. Next game is Oxford.
Mhm.
And Oxford are
12. 10, 12.
They are
No, I think so. I'm not too sure.
Oxford United are 15th.
Yeah,
36 points.
I knew there was in the teams.
Yeah. So before we go, we got about let's see, we got about 5 minutes. And because both of you are Manchester United fans, what's your thoughts on the coach stating rather pick a 60-year-old coach to play in head of
all I gotta say when it comes to stuff like that, Earl, it's all gonna come out in the wash.
Yeah.
It's all gonna come out in the wash. And I don't know, there's so many stories going on what Rashford's done, what has been doing. 1 minute you're hearing that the trainer, he's fighting hard for his spot, trying to get back in, training hard, but then you're hearing it's missing this and it's missing that. So yeah, it's all gonna come out in the wash.
Mm.
I was listening to Ferdinand right before the show started, and Ferdinand said it right. Like it's over for Rashi. It's over for Rashi.
Yeah.
It's absolutely over for Rashi. Rash, like you're not. If he comes back if he doesn't get sold in this transfer window, and he comes back and plays at least one game before the season ends, I will be surprised. I would be surprised if it's being named to the starting 18, starting 20. I would be surprised. I think it's done.
I ain't got time to listen to a guy that snuck out of the gate to avoid a drug test on somebody else's career.
Well, put it this way. He's getting 500 miles a week. So, so I don't think he really cares what you guys think.
I just got to show up every day to training. That's to go to work.
And guess what? He's not picking up the injuries doing what he's doing right now either.
Nope.
Hey, a healthy paycheck on a healthy pair of legs.
Hey, and the fact that because it's so much, the chance of him going in this transfer window is slim.
That's right.
Yeah.
My question is to you guys: where would he go? Who would pick him up? I see a lot of rumors going around with AC Milan. Who else was it? Napoli.
They would have to get rid of a lot of players in order.
No, they want United pay for him to pick up his stage. So as United, why would I'm not paying somebody to get away. It's not that bad. I don't care. It's not that bad. It's not detrimental to the rest of the players. I can see if he had a fight with the players and things of that nature, right? But we're talking off the field stuff that and the fact is, it ain't like United's forwards are banging the ball in the girl either, right? So
I said it before. You might as well just play him.
Just play him.
If you're paying him, play him.
Yeah, because the defenders, I think defenders are a defender or midfielder is the leading goal scorer again. Right.
But it's funny how this whole situation just continues to hurt the club, both on and off the field. Because every week, what's the first question? Rashford in the team?
Right.
But But Earl, remember, one of the remits of bringing this coach in was to change the culture,
Yeah.
right? And that's what they're hanging the hat on right there, hanging the hat on, right? And unfortunately, it's a very expensive hat.
Question. One more question. Do you think that Jose Mourinho is in its air? Because I know Jose didn't have quality time with Rashford. Do you think that Jose is telling this coach of Rashford?
I think the whole book is out on Rashford, right?
Yeah.
And you see that in his came up. See, the thing is, he has leverage because his came up through the academy.
Right.
Yes.
His came up through the academy. So, like,
Manchester United.
Right. So even like Garnacho, his came up through the academy. Those guys, they actually have a good bit of leverage. Just like, I mean, as much as Napoli would love to get him, but they don't want to pay the price because this comes through the academy.
Yeah.
Right. But those guys do have some leverage.
Yeah.
But then again, Earl, we're seeing in other sports where we've seen these young people, and I'm not going to just people in general, get paid millions of dollars and don't know how to manage it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
On and off the field.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's we can all sit out, talk about the game from afar, but how is that money, that contract affecting him off the field?
Off the field, yeah.
And that's something that we don't, when we sit as pundits, we don't think about that side of all of this, and his family.
Yeah.
Right. What's going on with him? Right.
Because he came up as a footballer, not as a businessman, and right now, it's a business in football.
Yeah.
He could be and expectations.
Yeah.
And expectations.
He could be losing money because a little contract they could put out, like, he has to score 5 goals, or he has to.
What his base salary is? You're missing that extra money.
I'm gonna say the base salary alone is all right. It's all right.
That goes to his mother. Come on now, that goes to his mother and his community.
Yeah, but okay, but think about it, right? Look what the expectation was because he's the highest paid player on the team right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the expectation when Ronaldo was just there a couple of years ago, man. He was the highest paid.
Yeah.
Look what that expectation was, and then so-called the culture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Harry Kane says, "You know what? I can't deal with that. Can't deal with that."
But honestly, can I say this? And I'm gonna be like, Rashford came in the league when Manchester United just won the Premiership. We haven't won a Premiership, right? He hasn't won one yet. And the expectations of Rashford was so high. It was absolutely high. Like, he was supposed to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah. And he started off good. See, he started off banging girls in.
Yeah.
And scoring goals against City and Liverpool too.
Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think the pressure is now, because he's like 28, 29, 30?
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, I didn't like the fact that it was an international break. Your coach just arrived, your new coach just arrived, and what am I telling you? I'm watching the Knicks play in Madison Square Garden, and I see my striker blinging on the in courtside. Like, I'm not even a Knicks fan, but I like how you fly from Causey Point to go watch a Knicks game, and you're in the shit house. I'm sorry, you're in the doghouse.
That's what happened. 500.
I'll see you when I get back.
I'll see you in the morning.
Yeah.
They like, you know what I'm saying? Hey,
Yeah.
they didn't say he stayed overnight in New York. You know, he
That's right.
rented it in.
Yeah.
You know, this, like I said, this day and age, right? And you know what? It's almost reminded me a little bit of, guys, Gareth Bale at the end of his career.
Mm.
Yeah. Over at Real Madrid. Yeah.
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 And remember, he was getting paid a lot of money, and they were paying him a lot of money not to play.
Not to play. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's
Well,
that?
gentlemen, that's a good way to end the conversation on this week's edition of EPL and Bermudian Overseas Players. We want to again congratulate the under-17 women's national team on their 2-0 win over Cayman Islands earlier this evening. And we want to wish them all the best in their 2 remaining matches on Wednesday against St. Vincent and the Grenadines and on Friday against the host Puerto Rico. So, gentlemen, enjoy your evening. We'll be back with another edition next week, Monday, with the EPL Bermudian Overseas Footballers Show. Have a good night, gents.
Yes.
Good night,
Have a good-
guys.